Well, I'm making this little live broadcast because this morning I was doing my administrative stuff and checking emails and everything else. And let me check them again. I got one notice. I don't know if it was an email. Yeah, no, it was one of these was on my dashboard and said a video uh, from it's 3 4 years ago violated policy and was removed. And I said okay, and I understand why, and I know what I did. That was correct. Okay, I was talking about uh, liquidating some of my excess cast bullets, and that's three legs on. So okay, all right, I got Joe's back. So I understand that. Okay, so no big deal. And I had to go through the re-education course on the policies, answering several questions. A couple of them I got wrong, but they let you do it again. And once you understand, then it's a warning. So instead of a strike, I got a warning. So I said, okay, great. So I go do some other stuff, looking at something else, check my emails, and then now I got an email telling me that this video has been removed. And what it was on the Stoger pistol. I made it back in 2023. And they don't give you the back straps. They only have one in the gun, the way the deal was, and you had a rebate and all this other stuff. So I was talking about where to get one and how to put it in. Because the way the thing was packaged, it didn't have the extras. You had to go buy them as part of the deal, and you got a big rebate and all this other stuff. So I guess I was mentioning prices. Okay. And, I said, this is what it comes in a cardboard box. It costs this. There was a thing. And then next thing you know, bang, I got an email. So I thought I was going to type in the appeal. I hit take action and appeal, and it went, but I didn't put a statement in there. So that's two of them. So I don't know if this is going to initiate a strike by the end of the day and they're going to black my channel out. And I got a ton of stuff I've been working on and a whole bunch of content that I'll be posting like for another month on budget ARs, which is a hot thing right now. I may be screwed here. Okay. I may be stuck. Got 2 strikes for calling out TikTok child predator. Ironically, it seemed to have left TikTok after getting caught. So I had to be good for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got some ideas. I got some stuff coming up, and I did spend money to do this. All right, and I have a bunch of stuff, kind of backlogged, and I was going to create some more content, over, today and next week. But now I don't know, and the reason I want to put something out there is because when they catch you off guard like this, and I had a strike, I had 2 strikes. I was close. They were close to shutting down my channel. Okay, now I guess because some of these videos take off and I get unusually high numbers, so they're not being total dicks about it, and just giving me a strike and shutting me down. I think that attitude has changed. They give me warnings other than shutting the channel off. Okay, and a lot of it too, they make money off of the stuff I do. So it's stupid for them also, in a way, to be doing this stuff. All right. Uh, and I don't know. I just wanted to get out there so, everyone sees all of a sudden I go dark, and like the last time it happened to me, I'd had to send an email to the gun geek, and he opened up a live chat and let me come into it, and it was the only way I could talk to anyone for over a month. Or was it 2 months? Yeah, because I think it was two strikes or something like that. I think it might have been a 90-day suspension. All right, yeah, the pocket knife idea. Um, it's not the same. Okay, this is a gun channel, and that's what people have come to see. And right now, okay, it's like we covered the panic and the insanity and the shortages. Right now, we're on this reverse mode where the market is kind of collapsing, and like somebody put out there, and there's a lot of weird videos out there about firearms that I think are AI generated. I don't think, because it just shows these pictures and this robotic voice, and it's not, it's like an opinion, but it's not a person. And the opinion is really off, because like when they pass the thing on suppressors, it says, oh, these items are flying off the shelf and you can't keep them in, and this and that and everything else. I really don't know if that's true. Okay, actually, the exact opposite is happening. Maybe people, because they removed the tax, are buying it and it's easier now. Okay, that I could understand. But I don't see a rush where they're cleaned out of the shop. Okay. Um, a lot of this is speculation. And actually, I'm seeing the reverse. When I went to that gun show, I mean, the prices are low. Usually at the gun show, people are trying to squeeze every last dollar, and the prices are, pretty much close to MSRP or normal high end price. Where if you shop around online and catch a flash sale, like I just did, you know, they drop the C note off of an item for 24 hours. Okay, and I picked that up. I picked this item up, a complete thing, in the AR category for less than what I could buy a parts kit minus the lower. Now, uh, I don't know. I just wanted to make content about it, and people are watching. I'm getting a lot of views on this venue. But now, this nonsense from 4 or 5 years ago, they're clipping me. And the fact I mentioned the exact dollar amount of something, they're trying to say that I'm trying to sell. Now I know why a lot of these guys that review do this strange stuff. I don't know. All those videos are clickbait. Yeah, Mr. Big Country, that's true. Okay, a lot of it's just nonsense, and there's a lot of stuff out there, you know. And the big thing now is the AR market and budget ARs. Are they any good? And all this other stuff. And you know, it's a hot topic, and it's low enough to where I can play in there. I can afford to do it, and make some content and discuss this topic in depth for people. But like I said, I'm gearing up, working on this. I even got some inexpensive reflex sights or red dots or whatever off Amazon. Now I'm afraid, because a lot of people say, hey man, that's cool, put a link to it. Well, am I going to get burned for trying to sell accessories on, so now I can't do that. I was going to do that, but then now I got to probably take all of that down and change that. or I'll get nailed again. Wow, Koba Live. Yeah, well, it's trying to beat the clock here. Let me see. What they tell me. 55. Automated systems and human beings. This is crazy. It's confusing. So I don't know. I did an appeal. I guess a person is going to actually look at it instead of the damn robot. So I don't know. But I thought I'd get out there and have something up the last thing. So in case I do get burned and get shut down, probably for, I don't know, could be 2 weeks, could be a month. I mean, this just makes it difficult and a pain. In doing this crap. But what are you going to do? You know? It's good to see we got 13 people. I went live. Got 13 people out there, which is pretty good for being unannounced, unscheduled. Guns, ammo, etc. Flag it. Yeah, I know. I mean, I use, for terms of money, okay. Or like I say, I don't use one word. I use liquidate, and I try to use in terms of money. One guy says doll hairs, it's 300 doll hairs, So I guess he got nailed because he's always talking about, and his channel is all about firearms and modifying them and doing stuff and testing them out. I forget which one he is. All right, but thanks for stopping by there, Big Country 81. Yeah, I use like Casino or K, or something like that, but it's a pain in the ass. But I guess you have to. And like I said, instead of saying I have to use the word liquidate, because if you say sell, okay, that right there, the computer goes crazy and kind of counter. Yeah, that's true. Because the whole idea is to put information out to help people and tell them. And yeah, you're going to talk about the prices of things. That's the whole reason I'm making the video, is because there's such a dramatic shift in the price. Okay, I ain't trying to sell anything or anything like that, or I'm not sponsored and I'm not promoting any one company or something. All right. It's just, things are going to get bad here. I may have to start having my chats again. I got a good turnout. In GDR Germany. Dystopian, yeah. That's true. I mean, unfortunately, all of us thought, oh, this camera's acting up. Wonder why the hell that's happening. Usually this thing's been working pretty good. I don't know. Now I got technical difficulties. Yeah, I thought things would change for the better after this last election, and it's not quite looking that way. Things are getting, more difficult with. The camera is out of focus. Oh, here we go. That's better. Um, yeah, I've noticed things are not well. Well, First Amendment. Here's the issue, and when we brought this up in the past, okay, uh, Google and YouTube is not funded by the government. Okay, you sign an agreement to use their platform. It's a private business. So, First Amendment uh, things on this platform, okay, you can't sue them. Part of the thing for me to be allowed to use their platform is I got to agree to whatever restrictions they put. Okay, it's a legal contract. There is no suing nobody. Uh, yeah, that's true what they're doing. Because in the past, you know, three left. In the past, I used to, reloading equipment and things like that. I used to make a video, and I'm talking over 10 years ago. I just say, hey, if you want this, send me an email, blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. And I did use this platform to move a lot of things, but now that's verboten. Okay, and anything to do with modification, I had a lot of videos out there, a lot, over 100. Okay, that were either AR builds, polymer 80, um, and 80% AR lowers. I made a lot of content, and I mean that year I made good. Okay, I was actually doing well with Google and that, and they just went, and that's when I almost got shut down altogether and was suspended for 90 days. I had to go back and just even anything remotely, a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of work. I had to delete over 100 videos. Okay. And I mean, those were getting those thousands of views. When I do something about an antique gun or some kind of gun that is not popular or fad type of thing or new, I get about 400 views in, a month or two. And over time, if you do something about an unusual old gun, after a few years, I'll go back and there's well over 1,000 views in a few years. But what you really want is you want a topic to where you get like 10,000 views in that within a week. That's what that's because when that happens, then that video's put out and it gets more, it goes viral, I guess, as they say. Yeah, you like my channel? Jump up and down, showcase a new product. That's the same as an old product or making dozens of baby mamas. Yeah, because they say that the grand thumb is BS, or why would you stick your finger down? It's the manual of arms. Okay. That's the one thing my father knew about weapons in the Army. He was a supply sergeant in a radio repair facility or something. Um, is when you do your manual of arms and open the weapon for inspection, okay, then when an officer comes by or whoever, you have to close the weapon and go back, to where you're standing at attention with it. It's the manual of arms. It was required by everyone that was in the army from, as long as that rifle was around. Okay. The M14, you yank it back and use your thumb to hold it open, and then you just go back with it. The Grand is different. And that was the old joke, even on Laverne and Shirley, where Lenny went into the reserves or the National Guard, and he come back wearing his uniform with his giant bandage on his thumb. So it was something that happened quite often. But now these younger people don't understand that whatsoever, you know. And yeah, jumping around. It's like when they review these guns, like what I'm intending to do here. Okay, they're throwing them down into the dirt and this and that, this budget gun and this. What's the point in that? Normally, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, you can drop a gun. That's happened to everyone. You lean it somewhere when you're hunting or whatever. Hopefully, it don't go off, but the gun falls down on the ground. That happens. Okay, but to sit there and just beat them and all this other stuff, yeah, you can break anything if you try hard enough. All right, so it's not uh, a test. Get ready for work. Good day. All right, thank you, Jay. Well, the old guns, they really don't push me on that. It's more like an AR thing. Okay, if I disassemble or fool with an old antique gun, they generally don't nail me on that. Okay, it's polymer 80s, which were a big political thing. Um, Anything with ARs or any of those type of guns that they like to ban. And I was going to make a video discussing the mentality behind why there's a force out there that wants to ban these weapons so terribly, and it's really foolish. I mean, it's all sensationalism, and most mass shootings, they said there's a higher percentage carried out with a handgun than with some sort of a rifle or carbine. Actually, they're somewhat rare, um, because it's kind of hard to sneak up in a public place with a full size rifle or a carbine. Okay, it kind of makes sense. Uh, but there is, and also nobody ever points out that it's a social problem. It's not. Gun violence is not a thing about culture. Right? It's a social problem, not a problem of regulating weapons. Okay, and the people who have the power to change the situation with these social problems don't do anything about it. Okay, that's why. In the middle, apparently, they gave you a strike for. No, no, no. This, what it was is a few years ago when I bought a bullet mold. I casted up a bunch of bullets. It was one of them odd ones from the guy that makes all the Civil War bullets. And I offered to liquidate some of my excess bullets, and I told people, where to contact me and I'd get them some. And that is just something I did years ago. It was 4 or 5 years ago, and they found it. So they removed it. And they told me, okay, take this re-education of the policy and you'll get a warning, not a strike. So I said, okay. So I sat there, answered several questions. They said, great. Don't get another one done in the next, I'll look that up. Don't get another one. Warning. Okay, expires. I got a warning, and that was the cast bullet thing. Training completed November 20th. So, yeah. So that's 90 days. I got a 90 days warning. So I got a warning, lasts for 90 days. They said if you get another one, you're going to get a strike. So I got all that done. I was checking my other emails and I go back to the email thing again and I got another one that I got another video removed. I hit appeal. So I got to wait a day or two. But if they come back after the appeal, I may get shut down for 90 days. Okay. That's why I'm making this. And that was done in 2023. And all I was doing was showing the Stoger pistol that I bought, and they had a rebate. And I mentioned prices. And I said, this gun, had an MSRP of this, it's on sale. And now they're giving you a rebate. So this really is a deal. You should look into this. Okay. And that's where they started pointing out when I started mentioning the prices. I did not intend to sell. I was just telling people, hey, this is what the MSRP is. They got it on sale. And now they're giving a rebate, which I mean really dropped the price down. And I mentioned the prices and they burned me on that. So obviously there are other channels where everyone has to get strange and do this. This isn't just me. This has happened to several other people who like to review products and firearms, whether they have a sponsor or not. See, I don't have a sponsor. And what did Hickok 45 in is they come up with a ruling that if your sponsor sells certain products, even though you are not advertising them, if your sponsor sells something that they were against, it was something with AR triggers and some sort of suppressors or something, I don't know, then your video, and he lost the whole channel because all his sponsors did that. So his whole thing, which was bigger than mine, channel, and all this other, that whole thing was shut down overnight. He was actually removed. And all his old videos are gone, which he made a lot of good content and a lot of stuff. And he had a lot of guns on his channel that were, loaned to him, which was pretty interesting. But yeah, that showed you how it goes. Although okay, a few days ago. No, all of this was done years. These videos were up for years. One 2023 and the other one I think was 2020. Who slept around on his wife and made dozens of them. Yeah, grandson. I think I remember that. Other than one pregnant. Well, doesn't matter whether you have a YouTube channel or not. That sounds more like a personal issue, and I don't do things like that. Been down, showcasing new products, making dozens. All right. Okay, I see. No, I don't. The channel don't do things like that and run around making women pregnant isn't really good nowadays. I won't. I love this old wisdom. Learn surely nice. Well, it was a popular TV show. I mean, yeah, it was. That was a pretty decent show. When did you send it? Did I get your email? Let me look real quick. Okay. I seen that classic, but that's out of stock. I got your email. Yes, I did. And I was interested in getting one of those, but unfortunately, ooh, am I back? Yes, I guess I guess when the hell I had to do that. Yes, Mauser Waffen, I got your email. Just checked it now, uh, and they're sold out. But I was interested in one of them, and thank you very much for sending that to me. Okay, Kevin, good morning. Yeah, see, I with him, he was just a big channel. Everybody went and seen it, and like you said, a lot of stuff he talked about or whatever. But he did have a lot of cool guns, so it was nice to see him shoot him there. But I guess they pulled the plug on him, big time. I mean, that was a big loss to lose the whole damn channel. I watch you when I 20 years. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I've been up there. I think, what was it, 2010, 2011 or something. Um, but yeah, and the very strange thing is, it's like, I'd really like to get, like a lot of these people, they make a weird video of latching bayonets on a bunch of old military rifles, okay, and get thousands and thousands of views for something to me that's kind of mindless. But, and what I found is like with the Roscoe revolver, it's just a remake of an old Rossi gun, by Taurus or whatever, and however they moved it around, it gets imported by somebody else. Heritage Arms did it, but it's a Rossi gun or something. I don't know. Really inexpensive weapon, pretty basic thing. Little 38 revolver. It's kind of cool to have them small frame, because a lot of Tauruses, however they make those titanium frames or something, they're pretty bulky guns. This was nice to have a steel gun that was like the old days, a smaller, more compact thing. I just bought it for the hell of it, and it didn't cost a lot of money. So go out, make the video. That went off the charts because I was the only person making some sort of video, actually talking about the gun in detail or something, which, other than your usual, it's like an ad. These guys make an ad and maybe shoot it or whatever. And then the other guy that goes in there and goes through all this crap. But, and I didn't foresee it or didn't expect it. And I made a couple follow-ups on it and shot it. And they, raised my thing up. And that's another thing, guys, hitting the like button and subscribing like everyone asks. I always forget to do that right in the beginning. I don't like to start my videos off by doing it, but I'm going to have to, because that does help. And it also helps when the number of subscribers I have, and now the numbers of views I have gone up, okay, in my analytics. All right. Um, Let me look here. Yeah, see, I'm up well over 4,000 views or something where I kind of averaged out around 2,000. Your channel usually gets 69,300 to 98,400 views in 28 days. Uh, they say I'm doing right now 63K watch time, down 3.8K in hours, and more subscribers. So that does help. And it also helps when these people come up with something like this. Like in the past, years ago, they would have just suspended me. Now, I don't know if it's just the policy. They're giving you a chance to review their policy and take a question and answer thing, and then they give you a warning. Other than just because in the past I got nailed. If they yank something like that, I just get an email that said, you got a strike. You can't post nothing for 30 days. Okay. And it was screwed up. All right. I got your Instagram. I think I opened an account on it, but I don't really want to get into the other platform with Instagram. I do Rumble because uh, Rumble I can say a lot of things I can't say on YouTube. Okay, and that's why I was using Rumble. Then I kind of stopped, but now Rumble's kind of picking up. And a lot of people, a lot of my subscribers complain that they can't get it on their phone or TV or something, and they just won't go there, plain and simple, because it's inconvenient for them. They don't want to sit like me in front of a desktop or a laptop computer and watch a video. Okay. I don't know, while they're driving the car, they watch it on the phone or something. I have no idea. But Instagram, why do you ask? Because in Instagram, I'm not quite sure how that works. Okay, let me look and see. Social networking service. I tried. Uh, no, it's telling me. To create an Instagram. Not now. I have to go back and try to get into this. The Okay, I like when you got the strike for copyright. Yeah, I remember that. That was where the algorithm. It had to be AI or something or an algorithm that caught that. That pissed me off. Okay, that really did. I mean, I had to go and delete that segment of me shooting to allow that video. They said what you can do because of the copyright law is just delete this 15, 20 seconds of the video. And they clipped it off. I went in there, deleted it, apologized. And, it's insane. Yeah, I got nailed for that. Then I went back and I made something on the oil filter things, okay, and the Chinese and that had copied it and that, but the only thing is they haven't taken them down, and they got about 1 billion views on there, and they're monetized. So I leave them alone, okay, instead of doing that. Yeah, it's big. I know. I know. I could try it. There was another one. Uh, put shorts on it with your phone. Uh, the shorts, you know, it's hard for 30 sec, 15, 60 seconds, or I think now you can go up to almost 3 minutes on a short. It's kind of hard to explain anything. And basically just holding a pistol and racking it or shooting it or something. I don't know if they got the phone on their shirt and doing it. Uh, I don't understand it. Okay, but they get thousands and thousands of views. I get more views on something like that, like showing how to load an old gun and then unload it. And it's in 60 seconds, and I get all kinds of views. It does. I don't know what it does to the algorithm or the system, but and that's another thing. Instagram. Other than like sending a quick message, if everybody was tied in to me on Instagram, I can go on the phone and say, hey, I'll run into a problem. I might not be, my channel might get locked out or something. Yeah, then that might be useful, but then trying to keep track. I put a lot of my time into doing this. Okay. And it works for me and it gives me the most coverage. I stopped for a while because it was just a pain and I got caught up with a lot of stuff. Anything I list here on YouTube, I ended up, well, I still had the thing, uh, the video in like a little reserve thing. I would copy it onto Rumble. Now, it used to be automatic, like Rumble and Odyssey would automatically, anything I posted, do it. YouTube stopped that. I'm sorry. Throat gets a little dry. Yeah, YouTube cut that out because I went back to them and I'm trying to set it up. I set it up on Rumble. They say tie in another platform, and YouTube's there. And then whatever you post, it would take 2 or 3 days for it to catch up. But it's like whenever I posted something on YouTube, I liked it. It would be posted on these other platforms. So that way, my work, even if they do shut me down, is floating around somewhere out there on the internet where it's not being taken down. So they put an end to that too. They cut that out. None of this automatic sharing. Okay. So, a little type of thing there. Censorship. Uh, ain't going to let you do it. The fascist. They want total control, and see, the problem is with the world and what's going on. This is where our future's headed. And it's not one administration, where it's global. They want to control your money. They want to control what you do. They want to be able, and the thing is, like now, who the hell goes to the bank every week with a paycheck like you used to do in the old days and get cash money out? All right. They shut you off now, like YouTube. They just flick a switch. That's it. I'm done. I ain't getting in. I ain't doing it. And they can erase everything out there that I have, that I put up all these years. Okay. In an instant. It's like in Canada. You protest or even thought about it or got caught sending $20 to the fund, they locked your bank account. You're locked out of your bank account. How do you pay your bills? Like my wife's saying, well, maybe we should have cash. Are you going to have enough cash to last the rest of our lives? Okay. And I mean, look at everything. I do pay a lot of my bills electronically and all this other stuff, but it's getting to where they will, and eventually with technology and that, they'll control everything you do. there'll be no escape. Okay. And that's the sad thing about it. So, all right, I've been here for 45 minutes, 16 viewers, 16 likes. That's helping me out there. The American firearms. Yes, I kind of did. What happened with that thing is there was something that would move in there. I can't remember what it was. And I went back, straightened it out, and it would work for a while. And after so many rounds, it was either the extractor or ejector or something was moving uh, inside there. That's what it was. It would slip out of place and then cause a jam. Um, I got that done, but see, I found somebody that collected them. Okay, and it was liquidated. I can't keep everything. Put it to you that way. There's a lot of stuff, and that's what I'm doing now. My age, my health is starting to go, and you got to start planning ahead. Uh, because if something does happen, then all the work, all the money in that, okay, if the family just rushes in and someone makes a 25, 30% value to remove the whole collection at once, okay, it's best just take my time and one by one get as much as I can out of the pieces I wish to liquidate and use the money to either buy more stuff or spend it on myself. But yeah, I'm getting to a point where winding down. I'm looking. It's like I'm just gonna reload. I got a whole closet full of powder and stuff. And I'm just gonna reload ammo to shoot my guns and go out until I use it up. Because I think I bought some 8 pound kegs of powder and they're $400-500 a piece. So it's running up $2,000 and just latching on to material just so I can shoot the guns. I want to go shoot my M1 Garand. I want to go shoot them finish rifles again. Maybe develop a load for, the Mosin and Gaunts. Dig them out of storage and put some rounds through them. And then 7.65 Argentine, and 7.7 Jap. I'd like to go enjoy that now that I'm retired. And that's what I'm going to plan on doing is just I'll make content, do reloading videos, go out and shoot them, and that's about it. Kind of expend my stuff. Wanted to go out with the black powder stuff again. Got a couple pieces. I actually got one pistol I bought during the plague era there that I never fired, a little 31, the Colt 18, whatever it was, the little bitty one. Couldn't find the damn lead balls anywhere, you know. So, yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do. No, it wasn't. It was something in there. Now I did get it working again, and something was moving inside the slide either, and didn't lose part of the firing pin. The firing pin was fine. And get that, but okay. There is one in the members thing. I think I did. Let me look real quick. 30-06. And I recently made it. I did the finish reloads. Yes. There is one. 7.65. 7.62 by 54 for the Mosin rifles. And I kind of did a dual. You will see it load development for 7.62 by 53 and 54. The reason I combined the two of them together, it's the same bullet, it's the same load. It's just one oh no, it wasn't the same bullet. I'm sorry, I take it back. One was a 185 grain bullet for the 53 using a powder, and one was a 174 grain bullet for the 54 for the Mosin, and the diameter of the bullets and the weight is different. But it's the same set of dies and the whole 9 yards. The only difference was I had to adjust the seating die for the one cartridge, and then use the Lyman crimp. Or not Lyman, Lee. Actually, I used the Lee die set. And the Lee die set, when you buy it, has a 30 caliber expander, and you have to go and buy the 311 expander separate. So it's like $1.50 or something. I think I got one right here. I bought two of them. Here, I keep everything so well organized. Oh yeah, here it is. Lee expander 303. You just got to buy another one, and you can do them both. Yeah. So it was combined. That's why. $18.49. Yeah, probably that's it. I'm old. I can't remember. I have a hard time remembering my friggin' phone number. Okay, nevertheless, the date, model, and everything of about 2,000 different firearms off the top of my head. Yeah. My hunting shot. What sticks with you? I got rid of all my hunting shotguns except my. What sticks with me is, I still got my 870s and 1100s, even though I bought them cheap shotguns. Those are ones throw in a truck or whatever. The old guns are all 2 3/4, which is getting kind of dangerous because people don't understand that, and they all think they got a 3-inch chamber, so you could run into problems. But I don't want to part with my old 870. I had that since I was a teenager. I hunted with it, shot trap with it. I got a trap barrel in that. I don't really shoot trap anymore. I got my BT99. I should sell that barrel and get some money out of that thing. That's worth a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I just keep whatever I can, but it's getting time to thin. I'm gonna do some, it's gonna be this AR stuff because they're so cheap, and then go through it, and hopefully younger people, more inexperienced people will learn something from it. The thing that gets me is I was at the range one day and I was fooling around with one of them Italian Vetterlis in 6.5 and trying to shoot a cast bullet. And it was gummed up. The extractor and everything, I had, so I was over there fooling with that, and I think I brought an AR with me. And there were 4 guys out on the firing line with ARs. One guy had one of them Rugers with the adjustable gas blocks, like an $800 gun at the time. And the other guys bought one from somebody, and then a third guy was there with a gun. All of them, none of them could get the guns to work right. And one younger guy, I guess he was there with his father. He's like about 30 years old. And he could not get this rifle to function. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him. I said, he goes, well, maybe it ain't broken in. Everything ain't broken in yet. I bought it used from somebody. And what they were doing is when the gun wouldn't function, they had an aerosol can of Rem oil. and the other guy was just spraying inside the receiver, spraying all over the bolt. They're not taking the gun apart. And they just keep trying to fire it, and it just starts running worse and worse. And I just say, keep your mouth shut. Okay. Uh, Take the damn thing apart, clean it, which they don't clean it. The other guy was screwing around, he left, and then the other guy that left me with the one guy with the Ruger, and he's over there trying to do this, and he's looking at it. And I kind of walked over to him and said, "Is that's a Ruger, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Doesn't that gun have an adjustable gas block?" He looks, he went and clicked something, the friggin' gun ran. Okay. I mean, I don't like, you know, getting up people's ass over it, but understand how the friggin' thing works and clean it. People don't clean their guns at all. That's why the ARs fail. And one guy he had a Ruger pistol, and he asked me, "I'm firing this gun and it's not working." And he goes, "I'm using aluminum 9mm, and it was 89 or 91 or something like that. It was an old Ruger handgun." And he goes, "Can you look at this and tell me what's wrong?" And he gave me a clip with about 4 or 5 rounds. He goes, "Is it the aluminum case?" I fire once, and of course the gun comes back. It's all. So I lock it back, unload it. I took my finger and went in there. The gun hadn't been cleaned in years. Where you stick your finger down at the end of the barrel where the ramp was, and I mean actual whitish just buildup of fouling, powder residue. I said, "Take the gun home, take it apart and clean it, then try it." I said, "The gun is so dirty." I said, "That's why it's not functioning. They just shoot the gun until it stops working, never cleaning it." Okay, I don't understand that, and that's why people have a lot of trouble with the ARs, because generally your generic ones, they used to be, I mean, I seen them get down to 4 bills, usually around 5 was the going rate. Then the last bump up, they went to 8, and everybody was going crazy because of political unrest a few years ago. Now you can get them 3.5 on sale, and add 50 for me to get it sent to me, the shipping, tax, and transfer. You're looking at 4 bills for a gun that used to retail for about 5.5, close to 6. And then people have bought them for 13 over a K. Now they're like done in. The deflation. Got to make a video on that. Surprising. Nope, never had a black powder shotgun. I got muskets, and Smoothbore muskets from the Revolution, you can load them like a shotgun. Didn't have a BP shotgun. That's why BMW no man belongs to the brake system. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you got to do maintenance, but that's the way it is. All right, we're hitting an hour. I got stuff I got to do. This was just a spontaneous thing because I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I got 48 hours for they come back, and if that goes through as being removed, I may get shut down. So I may just upload a pile of stuff too today. I might work on doing that. Just all the videos I got backed up, I may just let them out, get them all posted. Moses in there. Yeah, that's true. You can get more for a Mosin than you can for an AR-15. Yeah, but yeah, and since I got a decent turnout, which 13, I think the last time I was going live, I was only getting about 20 people at the most. And I think I might get the lives going back again and that. Well, if you watch from the beginning, they explain it, but a video from 2023 where I was trying to liquidate some excess cast bullets. They burned me on that, which is according to them, you know, I thought I erased them all, but I missed one and I got popped. So, you know, no big deal. I went through the re-education thing and answered their thing, you know, 7 questions on policy. And they just said, okay, a warning, 30 days. The warning will last for 30 days. You get another one yanked, then we're going to suspend you. So I get this all cleared up, get my wife off to work, was checking some emails. I go and look. They nailed another one from 2023. That one was like 2021 and 2023 when I was talking about one of them budget pistols I bought. And I mentioned the price. And they're saying, well, you mentioned price. And I said, I wasn't trying to sell it. I was just telling people that this is a good buy because of MSRP, this boom, 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 and a $50 rebate. So this is something you should look into. Wasn't trying to sell the gun. Did not represent a company or nothing, but put in an appeal. So now I got to wait. But if that appeal gets denied, they may suspend me. So that's what this is all about. All right, thanks. They'll use any excuse. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I got a bunch of stuff to do. Yeah, I know. I mean, some of them probably at one time they didn't violate the policies. I think they kind of went easy. They gave me a warning. Okay, they make you do this question answer nonsense instead of just suspending me outright like they did in the past. All right. Thank you guys. I'm going to end this.